Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, we had about half a day of sunshine so far, and it has been wonderful to see and feel on our skin. We took a walk. We have a road walk that's about 5 miles, and so we did that this morning to just soak up every last ray that we could. And to top it off, we are going to plant some hazelnuts. So these are native hazelnuts that we found while hiking last week. We are so excited about hazelnuts. I will put a link at the end to the flowers that we showcased in a video quite a while ago. So we are working on increasing the shrub diversity here at our place, and hazelnuts is just one of those fantastic shrubs for humans and for wildlife. It's beautiful, the nuts are delicious, everybody loves them, and we always share. So we don't work on protecting these from all the wildlife, because a lot of what we're doing here is to provide food for them, because we get to easily go to the grocery store, as you can see here by these crazy nut plastic bins that we are going to plant into. So we'll talk about those in a moment. But look here. So Steve and I were talking the other day. These are some of the notes he made. We were talking about shrubs and how many came back after we stopped mowing from the prior landowners and how many we added in. And these are a lot of the species that we have here, as many as he could remember. And what we ended up coming up with is that 9 species of shrubs came back on their own. I'm letting you see some of that here. And a few of these kind of fall into the sub-shrub, so we're not going to split hairs over that. But we have added 31 different species. So I think one thing we are realizing, and I think all of you have too, is that when the land is cleared and then allowed to regenerate, of course invasive plants come back strong. And a lot of trees come back strong, sometimes not always, and a few native shrubs come back. But unless you've got a seed source around you, you're not going to have much diversity in the shrubs. So we have had more diversity here at this place in Ohio than in some of the other places we have lived, where the clearing has been even more extensive. Here you still have some fence rows with different species. So what does this mean? It means even if the shrubs are coming back on your land still needs you to add in some other kinds, because other kinds mean different sorts of insects that will use them, different sorts of birds, different sorts of mammals, and it'll be different flowering times, different fruiting times, and that's all critical. There's a lot of talking and thinking and work being done on thickets now, because thickets are those shrubs and vines that all work together to create this whole different sort of habitat than you have within just a straight forest or a straight prairie. And it's actually it's that transition zone, and they're usually flooded with light and food, and since they flower, a lot of them earlier, they span that time before your forbs start flowering in the prairies and the pollinator gardens. So it's a very exciting place to go in your mind to think about adding to your land. Trees, some of them are really fast growing and some are slow, as you know, but the thickets, they can go a little faster, and that is encouraging. So look at these hazelnuts. They're quite small, but so beautiful. We found some that have bigger fruits. It just depends where your population is, but we were really, really excited about this, and we found these in an area that had been cleared a long time ago and is allowed to now grow up. The thickets are still there. This is in a fence row, and they have planted oak trees everywhere, and the oak trees are doing phenomenal. I mean, Steve and I were just so surprised at how well they're doing. Okay, now look here. We've talked about pots and stuff before, and there's so much plastic in our lives that most of us can just keep containers that we have already bought for other things. So these had greens in them. Steve and I grow a lot of our own greens, but we don't have any right now. And so these had spinach in them, I believe. And we get these at Kroger, and they are so tough. I mean, it's just wild how tough they are. They are said to be maybe recyclable. It's a 1, but you really got to talk to your recycling facility to see if that is for real. A lot of it isn't for real, which is super disappointing. So we like to repurpose a ton of these. Stop buying our own pots, which are also plastic, and start using all these things that just find us all the time. To plant in them, punch some holes in the bottom. I used an awl. Just be careful because this plastic is really tough. And then we put in our media here. This is Organic Mechanics, and they are peat-free, which is why we always buy from them. And then we're going to put these seeds in here. We're just going to drop them into the soil, push them down a little bit, and we're going to put half in this one. We'll fill this one with soil and also put half in there. And label them, of course, and then put these in that box that I showed last time, Steve's protective box, because critters will want to eat these. Hazelnuts are delicious, and we want the hazelnuts to feed them, but not right now. We want the shrubs to have an opportunity to grow. So we'll put them out there, and then in the spring, if we're lucky, and we start getting some good germination, we will pop them out of here and give them their own pots, probably in one of our many yogurt containers or other containers that we just find by the side of the road for whatever reason, cat treat containers, orange juice containers. All these are wonderful for using, and so then we'll just punch holes in the bottom, plant them into their own pots, and put them in the sunshine to grow. So start thinking about what thicket species you could add to your property, which are the ones that fit well, and then put as many in as possible. That's our recommendation. It's a very exciting plant world that we're just starting to get to know, and we hope that you get to know it very soon too, and then you'll become addicted just like us. You're going to be looking everywhere for these seeds. Happy planting!